Hello writers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra. I share my writing tips, my creative journey, as well as writing advice. Today I want to talk about a writing question that's been asked a lot, and it's what does it take to become a full-time writer? According to me, I think that there are 5 special ingredients that can make you become a full-time writer. So without further ado, let's dive in. The first ingredient is being consistent. Becoming a writer is in the art of consistency. I'm not talking about mass producing these 100,000 words manuscript every month. What I am talking about is writing on most days than not, which also involves writing on days where you don't feel like writing. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be a full-time writer, you do have to treat writing as a job. But when I mean being consistent, it can also involve like doing things where you are always constantly reminded about your writing and you're constantly churning ideas and you're constantly involved in the things that you write about. So as in like, even if you're not writing one day, at least take some time off and think about different scenes or read something that's related to the topic that you're writing about. Do something that's always going to inspire you to continue writing and to make your writing easier in order to be able to write every day and write more consistently. Writing is not a sprint, but for those who make it as a full-time writer, the most common denominator is that they actually keep writing and they don't stop writing. But writing every day is not all that it takes to become a full-time writer. The second ingredient is building a tough skin. Rejection can feel brutal and personal, but it is necessary and it's going to happen regardless. Sometimes it could even be so impersonal that it hurts even more because it feels like the person that is reading your work or that is judging your work didn't even take the time to care about it. I think for writers, it's sometimes hard to not tie their self-worth and their self-esteem with the rejection that they're getting. It's true that the work that we produce are works of love and works of labor, and sometimes they're works of love and sometimes they're just works of labor, but it still feels so personal to get rejected, but it's a key process. Sometimes rejection is very much necessary. It actually allows you to build a tougher skin and to understand that sometimes your work is just not resonating with some people. It can also sometimes motivate you to make the right changes and to actually better your work and better your craft. If you lose hope after the first negative rejection or negative criticism, then you'll never make it and you'll never be cut out to be a writer. At the end of the day, art is subjective, but it has some objective value. But you should also remember that you're the one that ascribes value to the works that you're producing. The third special ingredient is being open to critiques. Having tough skin is one thing, but being able to listen to critique and to actually evaluate the critiques that you're getting is another. Especially when it's good critique. Especially when it's good critique that will help you better your writing. Writing is such a solitary act, but when you want to become a full-time writer and you want to have your works to the public so you can be a full-time writer, then you're going to have to get used to beta readers, proofreaders, editors, critique partners, all the types of people that will critique and have their eyes on your manuscript. It doesn't matter if you're pursuing a career in self-publishing or traditionally publishing, you will get critiques during and after your book is published. And it's your job as a writer to know which critiques should you accept and work on. For example, if all of your loyal readers are saying this book that you just wrote is way too slow, the pacing is way too slow, you can sit here and say, no, it's not too slow, or I like it this way. But at the end of the day, you risk losing half of your readership because you didn't want to listen that the pacing might actually be too slow and you're just being unreasonable because you don't want to change things or you think it's perfect the way it is. There is a fine balance between writing what you want and shaping it into something that your readers will love. At some point, writing becomes a collaborative work and you have to compromise on that if you want your work to be published. Or you could ignore them, but you still risk having bad critiques and you have to be able to accept them for what they are. I hope that everyone understands here when I say bad critiques, I don't mean disrespectful critiques or critiques that attack the authors directly. Those have no room for what I'm talking about. But it can be that you receive hateful and bad critiques, and that in those cases, you really need to have a tough skin and you really need to be ignoring and not engaging in that hateful speech because that's not good criticism. The fourth special ingredient is to keep on learning. A good writer who wants a long-term career is always going to keep learning about their craft, learning about the subject they write about, and learning about how they can improve themselves. It's not uncommon that most writers end up writing a memoir on writing themselves because they've been so involved with their writing and their writing process that they start to, discover new things, learn new things, and take new classes, read more books about the craft. And I think that's what makes a writer amazing, when they can grow through time and through their writing. Another facet of learning is obviously reading. I know I'm so repetitive when it comes to reading, but it is true. When you read more books, even if it's nonfiction or fiction or books on craft, it actually helps you to become a better writer. It actually helps you understand what you're doing different from other people. It can even help you develop your own writing voice. And the fifth and last special ingredient that I'll be talking about in this video is being passionate. Honestly, I think it's hard for me to wrap around my head that some people write but they're not passionate about, because writing is really hard. I can't imagine not being passionate about writing and choosing writing as a career or as a full-time career, because it's like really playing sentence by sentence. It's really playing in your brain to articulate ideas or stories in a certain light that you want to present it in. And I don't understand anyone who is doing it unless they're doing it out of necessity, or unless they have such a high level of skill in writing. Then I don't know. If you want to really be a full-time writer, you have to be loving writing, in my opinion. And it's not just enough to love writing, but you have to keep the passion that you have for writing. So that could also be writing personal projects that are only for you, that will keep you happy and inspired to do. Because I know sometimes when you start to go into your writing career, it could be that you limit yourself in a genre. It could be that there are expectations for you from your agent. So it's really important to still have that passion and that love for writing, even if it's just for personal use, even if it's just, journaling, even if it's just writing poems for fun. I think you always have to keep passionate about the things that you're doing, and especially for writing. And I think part of the reason why people are so passionate about writing and why writing is so fun is because you can always have fun with it. You can always experiment new styles, new things, new themes, new topics, new research, and that's what makes writing so unbelievably incredible. So I think it's good to keep the passion alive. I think sometimes it's good to test the boundaries of what we can do and what we have written in the past. So honestly, don't be afraid to do that, especially if you want to be a full-time writer. So those are my 5 personal ingredients as to what it takes to become a full-time writer, or to maintain being a full-time writer. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this inspired you. I hope this actually refreshed you on what it actually means to be a writer. It's so much more than just writing. It's so much more than just, being successful. It's so much more than that. It's something that actually kind of bleeds into your life in the best way possible. Honestly, don't be afraid to start small and then work your way up. And also don't be afraid to keep writing as a passion for now, or just keep writing on the side for now until you're ready. Because, if you force yourself, you're probably going to fall out of love with writing. You really need to do what's right for you and do what's right for your writing. So everyone has different journeys. So I encourage you to take these advice with a grain of salt. Take them if they help, discard them if they don't help, and share your own advice if you'd like. As always, if you like this type of video, like, comment, and subscribe. All of my links to all of my different accounts are down below. You can always contact me and reach me, and you can always comment something about your writing process, your writing journey, your writing advice and tips, or what you want to see next on my channel. I would love to hear from you. And for now, I will go and write some poems. See you on the next video. Bye!